Hi. Okay then, so this is Meet My Mentor and I'm Nicola Wilkinson, as you can see on the screen there. I am a married woman, but I do like this picture of myself and my boys. Old William on the left is now 6 and Oscar on the right is now 2, but I still think it's super cute. Um, there will be a section at the end for you to ask questions in the question box, so don't worry about that. And if you want me to go over anything else, you can always ask the question there, or you can just inbox me separately. So that's fine. I'm called Nikki Steve Wilkinson on Facebook, so you can always ask in there. So in January 2014, actually taking it back slightly further, December, I actually looked at this business and I went round to the lady that introduced me and she showed me all the information. I thought, no, I don't think that's for me. And that's absolutely fine. It's absolutely fine to look at this business and think it's not for you. I was quite shy and really, really unconfident. And I was actually on maternity with my second little boy, which is Oscar in the picture. And I was just looking for something that was going to bring that bit of income for me, to a bit of play money sort of thing, because my husband worked really long hours and at the time that was enough for us. That was enough income for us. So we weren't greedy people or anything like that. We didn't want anything extra from anything really. So January came along and I've been thinking about it all over December and all over the Christmas period. And there was something about it that I just couldn't get out of my head. So I decided to take a second look. So I received some more information and I brought it home to my husband and we sat there and we listened to some links what she'd given to me, and I thought to myself, yeah, I could really see myself doing this. And he actually looked at the brochure. So I'm quite honest on these Meet My Mentors, so I hope you don't mind. But he looked at the brochure and he thought to himself, there's no way in this world you're going to be able to sell these items because who's going to buy them? So, as skeptical as people can be, he's been supportive throughout. So that was his initial thoughts. But he said, I'll support you, whatever you want to do. So that was the start of something special. Looking back, I didn't know it was going to create what we've got today. Looking back, I hadn't set any goals in place to achieve what we've achieved today. But this was the start of something really, really special. So, my products arrived, and you get a full 20 sized products in your pack. They're for personal use, and you can loan them out to your friends and family, in little ways like that. It's really, really useful to use your pack. Use your pack yourself and find your favourites basically. There is over 300 and something products. We can't possibly like every single one. I use my sister as an example. There's 8 in her household. They don't like 300 and something products, but they do like a hell of a lot more than a normal household. So you find what your personal favourites are and your family favourites, and you'll naturally be introducing a handful of regular customers, and that's because it works on a referral basis. So say if you went to a restaurant, for instance, you could go to that restaurant and absolutely adore the food. The staff are fantastic. It's picturesque, whatever it is, and then you're going to recommend that without knowing about it. The same for a film. The same for a comedian, say. The same for a place that you go and visit. But on the other hand, if you don't like those products, you're going to go the opposite way and you will explain how you dislike the product or dislike the the marketing plan or whatever it is. So you will then realise that this isn't for you, and this isn't. I mean, might be that it's not right for you right now. But what you need to realise is you don't have to like absolutely everything in this product range. You just find your favourites. the world #1 leader, if you can see in that picture in the middle, he just sold the yellow drinking gel, and he is a billionaire, and he's been in the company for about 20 years now, but he concentrated on one product. So you can do that, but the ranges are really, really big. So we've got weight management, we have animal care, we have skin care, we have makeup, we have general, we have lots of different ranges, and there's lots of people who are in the team that work in different ranges. So for me, I'm general, and I do dip in and out of different markets and different ranges. But we have team members who heavily work in the weight management or the animal care or the skin care or the beauty. So you decide what your customers will love and what you will love out of this business. So when we receive our pack, then we invite our friends and family round. This is optional, but it's a great way of introducing your first customers. And my first customers are still my customers today. So 21 months in this business, and I still have the same customers because I have created a lovely relationship with them. They have the same products, or sometimes they add to that product list. And this is because they're replenishable products. So it's time to have some fun with friends and showcasing what these fantastic products do and implementing fun in the process. So really, a launch party is fantastic because you can have it at your own house, somebody else's house if you want to do more than one. You can have it in a pub. Lots of people have had it in a pub. You can have it in a salon. You choose. It's got to suit your personality. I've had a lady who's done afternoon tea and champagne. So that was the theme of her launch party, and it was fantastic because everybody was catered for. We had little cakes and things like that. We passed the products around, everybody tried them, and we had a giggle. You can introduce little games if you want to. This is a great way of introducing your customers initially. Some people continue on with these parties and have regular ones. Some people only have the one. Some people have none. It is, again, your choice how you want to build your business. But this is a great way of starting the customer base off. So, showing the products, it's perfect way. Some people can be put off by the generic photographs from the internet or from your magazine or something like that. The best way to sell a product is to recommend, and like I've already explained about going to a restaurant or such like, we will find our favourites and we will naturally say, oh, I'm using this. I've made a bit of a collage about these. It just explains, and sometimes you can explain these products in a way to intrigue people, and then you can say, right, I'll send you some information, and then somebody else will want the information too. So if you're using it and recommending it, then other people in your friends, your circle of friends will naturally want to know what it is that you're up to and what it is that you're using and what's making you feel look good, feel great, and all that kind of stuff, and energized. So it's a great way of showing your products. Also, show what you're up to. So it's a really good way of explaining what this business is doing for you. Obviously, don't fib. Everything that I put onto my Facebook is exactly what I do in real life. I put on there. Sometimes you might put a few too many pictures of the kids or whatever it is, but that's not out of the ordinary of what you would have done prior to looking at Forever. So I enjoy showing off my children or what activities we've been up to because it shows that I am really, really enjoying this business, and it's exciting other people, and it's showing other team members and linking them in. And team members do exactly the same because what their success and progression in this business, I love to share that as well because I feel proud of those people in this business to share this journey with them. Okay, so this is going to go through a little bit of my income. Please be aware that I have been doing this for 21 months. I have created quite a big team. I did come into this business not to do any of that. I did come in for the typical £200. If I was to go through personally what it is that I have on, when I first started this, I was on maternity pay. I earned around £500, and that was when I was obviously getting paid my normal pay. So my maternity pay was slightly less. I did get a really good maternity package. We got 6 months full pay, 3 months half pay, and then we had an optional 3 months after that. But how our holidays worked, we accrued our holidays from our birthday. Now I had both my little boys in June and July, and my birthday's July, so I was really, really lucky to have extended maternity because I accrued all that holiday, luckily, over my maternity. So when I returned, I had lots and lots of holidays to take, and they gave you bank holidays. So even though I didn't get paid a huge amount in my role, I actually got rewarded in lots of different ways, and that's why I stayed there for 10 years. So I started this for around £200, and these incomes I'm going to share with you are not covering my 30% profit off any products or any global checks too. They are separate to this income. So how it works is you get 30% profit off any products that you purchase or your customers purchase. So you will get the profit from that or the discount for your own personal products. Then if you yourself or your team recruit and build teams or customer bases all over the globe, we're in 158 different countries, we also get bonus checks from them too. And thirdly, we get a 5 to 18% bonus on the 15th of each month, and that grows as your customer base and your team base grows. So I can answer any questions based on this because it might seem like a lot of info right now, and I will warn you, it might seem a bit too good to be true. I am a real person. You can look at me on Facebook. I'm Nikki Steve Wilkinson. I live in Trentham and Stoke-on-Trent. So everything that I share with you tonight is because of what I've put into this business. So in February, my first bonus was £12.16. Like I said, it doesn't include my 30% profit. And that bonus was based on myself just signing up. So I hadn't actually got any customers. I hadn't actually ordered anything. That was based on me ordering my pack, which was £199.95. And that gave me my 20 full-size products. So that was based on me just ordering that pack. I could have done some more with the business, but how I was when I first started, I really, really wanted to take it slowly. So in March, I'd introduced my sister to the business. She was one of my customers initially, and she decided that she wanted the discount for herself and she wanted to do this alongside me. So together, we worked this business and we hit the first promotion on the marketing plan, and that is called Supervisor. It doesn't sound really, really flash or anything like that, but for me, it was the first personal hurdle in this business, and it was the first time I thought to myself, yeah, actually, I could really do this. I could really enjoy it. And the moment that you realise that you could enjoy what you're doing, it's fantastic. So in April, we went up to 178.42. Again, that doesn't include the 30% profit off any products. That's always been around the £200 market, and that was because that's what I aimed to bring home. So all these bonuses here are a bonus. They are an extra. I didn't cater for those, so the 200 profit off my products was always my prime goal. In May, we went up to £183.40. And that was because I was continuing with my customer base, but I had started to build a team and I started to put my time into that team. So in June, I went up to £246.76. And in June was a really, really good month for me because I realised what this business could offer. I had two fantastic people come into this business who are managers in their own right, and have managers in their own teams. They've built fantastic teams, and both of them were people that I didn't originally know. And June was also the month that I got made redundant. So when I started this business, I thought I was secure in a job, and I actually wasn't. So June was the month that I really looked at this business and realised what it could actually give me. So I was happy just tootling along and retailing prior to that. So in July, we went up and we hit the assistant manager marker, which was at the end of the month. And that was a bonus of £616.99 plus my 30% profits on any products. Now, for me, that was just over £800, and I was quite astonished by that because I'd never put in, I'd never set a goal to get that amount. I'd still, in my head, every single month thought if I achieve 200, I'll be over the moon. So in August, that went up to £791.69. And in August, I went on holiday, which my husband had spent 18 months saving for. We did use our forever money as a spending money, but for 18 months, he'd saved for a holiday to California. We'd booked it, obviously, 18 months prior, and he'd spent the whole time doing over 100 hours overtime, really slogging his guts out just to pay for this holiday. Nobody saw him, just so that we could have these couple of weeks spending the time with him. And then when we come back, he had to return to work. That was the time that it really, really clicked, and I thought to myself, something's got to change. We can't work super, super hard just to earn 2 weeks, 3 weeks holiday with each other, because the children were missing out. I was getting lovely time with the children, but what was the point in it just being me? So we set ourselves the sight of hitting the manager promotion, which moves you up to the 18% profit margin on the 15th of each month. And that is a really pinnacle position, and it's a great aim to get there. And how this business works is the month after you hit the promotion, that's when you will get your pay for that promotion. So in September, even though I was in California, my business still grew, and we went up to £849.91, and we still had our retail because we have an online shop, so customers can buy from our online shop. We can order for them, and it goes straight to their house. They do bank transfers that way. That's what my customers do for me. And it's a really, really good way of just keeping your customers happy, and they will always replenish their items that they purchase. So in October, we really, really started to see the incomes coming in, and it went up to £2,129.31. I remember stopping up, and because at 12 o'clock on the 9th of each month, so on the 10th it gets released, we can see what bonus we will be paid on the 15th. And when you start this business, you'll realise in the team pages just how excited this gets. So everybody is really, really excited to see how much they've grown month on month. And that went up to £2,129.31. As you can imagine, I was up at 12 o'clock at night, crying my eyes out, thinking, what the hell is going on? I'd worked hard with my team to help them get where they wanted to get, and I've always been a strong believer in working with people and just having fun. But that was the result of me working hard with other people, and I was getting them to where they wanted to be. And because I was focusing on that, I hadn't got time to focus on what I was achieving. But obviously, these are fantastic things that we were achieving for ourselves too. So in November, it went up again, £2,266.70. But as you can see, in December, I took my eye off the ball, and I didn't discuss this at the beginning because I always try and discuss it at this market. But when I started this business in January, I had realised, I hadn't been told, that I was suffering with postnatal depression, but I was suffering really badly. I put it off as tiredness, extreme tiredness, but what it actually was postnatal depression. And although I was in love with my little boys, there was just something. I had a lovely life. Like I said, we've been to California. My husband's always been supportive. There was just nothing in my life to say at that time why it happened, but it happened. And as the year went on, obviously I was working really, really hard. December came and I felt that force come back in. Now, I'm not embarrassed about that now. At the time, I actually was, because I thought, I'm working this business, but I share that with you because we are only human at the end of the day, and things like that can happen in our life. I'm happy to say that I'm perfectly fine. I've had an absolutely fantastic year, and these things are sent to test, as I suppose. So this is recognition, incentives, and promotions. This is just a snippet of what we've achieved. My team have achieved lots of these incentives. We've hit where you get your car paid for yourself. We've hit the promotions on the marketing plan. We've won free travel. We've won bonus checks that they give out yearly. We've got the Pinnacle yellow suitcase. Lots of people want the yellow suitcase, but that comes with a certain position in the marketing plan too. But also, I was asked to be in 2 magazines last year, much to my surprise, because I hadn't come into this business for any of these things. But once you start to receive recognition, I worked in a role for 10 years where it was the norm to not be recognised, to be told off. We actually had a tracker. If we went to the toilet, we had to click on that we were going to the toilet, and they knew how long you'd been, if you were chatting to your friends or anything like that. When you were on your break, if you were late back from your break or your lunch, or what time you started in the morning, just anything. And it was ridiculously restricting. So you just felt like a machine rather than a person. You were never valued for anything. But this company, I always say, if you sneeze, they pat you on the back. It's so silly to see that, but for every little step that you take, they want to thank you and they want to reward you. And ironically, last June when I got made redundant, I got my, as you can see on the bottom picture, I got my P45 and my 10-year plaque in the same week. So as I got made redundant, my 10-year plaque came through at the same time. So it's quite funny, really, that that's their sort of recognition. It came through the post. No, there was no whoops or cheers or anything like that. It was just there, sent through the post. Nothing personal whatsoever. So 2015, wow. What can I say about 2015? Bear in mind, I've already explained that how I started. I wasn't confident. I was really, really shy. I'd had no idea what this business was all about. And if I was honest, at the beginning, I thought, oh, it's a bit like Avon. It's certainly not like Avon. It can be whatever you want it to be. If you want it to be a retail business, that's perfectly fine. If you want to retail and team build a little bit, that's perfectly fine too. And if you want to really go for it and achieve these bigger things, that's perfectly fine. You can chop and change too, because you can see my journey. I didn't start out for these big things. It's just happened by helping others. So in January, my income went back up again, and that went to £2,194.15. Obviously, that's a fantastic income to welcome January, and that's at the 15th. Normally, we're waiting about 6 weeks for our wage to come through if you get paid at the end of the month. I know I've been in that situation for 10 years where you skint from December and you've got to wait all of January till you get paid again. So it's a great time to be starting up with this business right now. February, we created our first manager. So not only had we got there ourselves, we'd helped somebody get there too. That's the most rewarding feeling. When whatever this business gives you, helping somebody else move up that marketing plan is the biggest pat on the back that you could ever get. And pushed our income to £2,827.17. But what that also did is that first manager that came through, her bonus that month was around £2,000. So what that creates in this business is momentum, and it helps others get what they want out of this business. She has gone on, it's a couple, they're a couple, they work it together. They have gone on to achieve phenomenal things this year in their business, and that income there seems like peanuts right now for them. I'm sharing this because I don't want you to think it's just me earning, because it's not. I help you earn, and you could overtake me at any point in this business, and we encourage that. So March, now you're going to see the big jumps. This is where I felt like I went into a bubble and I thought, oh, it's somebody else, it's happening to somebody else. But obviously the income hits your bank. So in March, we went up to £3,919.17. We created our second manager, which made us senior manager, which when you create two managers, you move up a pin. And I was lucky enough for my second manager to be my sister. So I'd helped her and her family achieve over a £2,000 income too. And we'd also hit CarPlan. I'll explain CarPlan in a minute, but CarPlan is a fantastic incentive put on by the company, and it's there for the taking. So April, we hit Eagle Manager, which is the Mexico holiday that we've just been on. So if you're on my Facebook already, or you've been following me on LinkedIn or Instagram or on my business page, you're going to have seen the holiday photos. It was phenomenal. There was nothing that they couldn't do enough for. I've never been on a holiday like it in my life. But we earned £5,823.39. These are like Mickey Mouse incomes. I always say that because these are incomes that you can only ever dream of. But they were hitting our bank, like I've said, but we were also helping others to do the same. Now, I know I've only said about two managers, but that's because we have lots of people still going for those positions. There's over 500 in the team now, and that includes those manager businesses teams too. So in May, we created two more managers, and our income went up to £7,295.67. It's just unreal. Those two managers that came through, I couldn't imagine life without them now. They are fantastic friends, but they were people I didn't know to begin with. They were people I'd met along the way, got to know, and introduced to the business. So I initially never even met them before. So sometimes it's not always who you know, it's who you don't know. In June, we hit a profit share check, which is, I'll go through it in a minute, it's one of the global travels, and you get a chunk of the profits from the year, and that's awarded to you on their destination. And we went up to £7,933.41. Just remember, on top of these, I still have my 30% bonus, my profit off my products, and my income from my global checks, and whoever in the team has got global team too. In July, as well in that month, Steve, my husband, he had worked in a refrigeration trade. He earned in excess of 45 a year. He actually handed his notice in that month so that he could actually spend some more time with us as a family. So it was a really good month for us, because in July, when the children finished school, that was when he really got to enjoy being at home, and we work this business together now. So in July, we went up to £8,387.46. We enjoyed the summer holidays together. We planned our 7-week holiday, and we didn't go abroad in that time. But what we did do is took the boys to wherever they fancied. So we went to Weston-super-Mare, we went to Norwich to Dinosaur Land. We went on lots of different stop-offs across the UK and enjoyed activities for them. Steve's never been able to come to anything with us before. It's always been just me taking the boys to the park or to the play place or whatever it is. and him coming home and they basically in bed at the end of each day. So for us, that was a real achievement. The incomes are fantastic, but these little achievements for us personally are the best. So in August, we went and we earned £8,529.22, and we created our fifth manager. Now, what that means is when we've hit senior, because we'd created 2, the next one is create 5 in total, and you move up to the next level. So we are now classed as a soaring manager because we've got 5 frontline managers in our team. There's lots of other managers in the team, but they are in other people's teams. So from the ones that we've recruited, they have recruited and successfully created managers. So we don't know what September's will be because that is announced on the 10th. So, well, it's tomorrow night at 12. And obviously October, November, December. Exciting times ahead for the rest of 2015. But I really, really do not know what 2016 is going to look like. I really don't. But that isn't just for me. That is for my incredible team. And the incredible team are just following the same simple cycle. They're not doing anything different apart from putting their own personality onto it. It's a really simple cycle. So here's a few of them. Lots and lots of people that we've met along the way, lots and lots of the team. In the middle there is head office, if you can see the white building that I'm in front of. And on the left-hand side, that is some of our team that went to Mexico about a week or so ago. So a lot of these people I never even met before forever, and I've made these friends along the way. So it is a great friendship building business, and it's great for memories. So it's really, really nice to work alongside, help each other out. And like I've said, at Empower, it was she's printed off too many things or she's late back from a break. In this business, everybody is helping each other. Last night we all met as managers across the board as equals, and we shared our tips, what's working with our teams to help each other out. You wouldn't get that in a normal job. You wouldn't get that in a normal role. They would be thinking, oh, what are they doing? I'll find out their information, but I won't share mine. So it is a very helping business. This is my lovely car. We had an S-Max before, and I'm not ashamed to say it absolutely stunk. Steve's brother dropped diesel in the boot and we just couldn't get rid of it. And I know that sounds silly to share on one of these things, but we are real people. I like to share what it is that we've achieved because that car symbolises a lot of things for us because my children had to sit in that car. And it's not that nice really. But obviously we didn't have another car, so you just have to sort of grin and bear it. But this is called Earned Incentive. It's been nicknamed Car Plan, and it's also called Forever to Drive. What it is once you get to manager, you can achieve this, and it follows on from manager. So halfway to manager and just after manager, you should be hitting this. They pay you a lump sum dependent on the level that you're at, and they pay you that each month for 3 years, and then you just re-win the incentive. So we hit this early in the year, and because we were renovating our house, we decided to leave it and have the car in September and have a September plate. So what that meant was we had £264 initially coming in. The next month we went up to £394 because we'd hit that incentive. And although level 3 we thought was out of our reach for such a long time, that happened the month after. So something happened in the team where we were all going for things, and that created those things for us. So we've got lots in the team who've achieved Car Plan, and they are looking at cars themselves and what they're having, or they've already got a new car with it. That money went into our bank on top of those incomes, and we brought blinds, we brought curtains, we brought renovation material. So I know it's a bit rock and roll, well, not rock and roll, should I say, but we were renovating a house, so we wanted to put that in. We actually had a new drive done, which cost an absolute fortune. But without these incomes, we wouldn't have been able to afford the renovations. It would have taken probably 10 years. But we're just coming up to, in December, it'll be 12 months worth of work. So we've been able to put this money into the house and really enjoy the house getting done quicker. So global travel. The company offers 2 free 5-star holidays a year. This year it was Singapore and Mexico, so we achieved Mexico, and we've just been on that. It was 5-star, everything was included, even named brands. We got flown out first class, we got treated like kings and queens. It was unreal. I've been on lovely holidays before, but we've always had to budget for things, or not stay in the nicest of hotels maybe, so that we've got more spending money and things like that, and people can relate to that. So the next holiday is Johannesburg, and that is in South Africa, and that's next April. That one is where we get the profit share check. So these holidays, the cars, the profit shares, how they give these to us is where people think it's too good to be true. They create the product, we do everything else. There's no marketing, there's no shops, there's no sales, there's no advertising, there's no celebrity endorsements, there's nothing like that. So that chunk of money that would normally go to them comes to us as people. So it's really, really good to reward us and say thank you for everything that we do. Now in Johannesburg, there is 2 parts to that incentive. So you win a check, and it's a share of the profits for this year. So by the end of December, they will calculate what share check that you're going to get, and you get announced it when you're there in Johannesburg, and you get presented with a large check. Now they range from about $5,000 up to over $1 million, so it depends on where you are and what you're going to get. And they also give you loaded credit cards. These are the things, again, like I said, they just sound too good to be true. But the company is very generous. It loves to reward its business owners, and it really, really does. So I can't praise this company enough, really. So what Forever has given for us as a family, time is a massive one. These pictures, well, they just sum everything up for me. That picture on the bottom and the picture on the top, sorry, both of them, to be fair, Steve would never have normally been on them. It would have just been me and the boys. So for me, as a person, that's a massive goal. Although it's got no monetary value, it has really, because we've replaced his income and got his time. So this business can give you time. Personal development. Now, I'm a technophobe. I don't know how to do technology. I've had that many cries over the last 21 months trying to do things like this. It doesn't make a difference what your skills are. We all learn along the way. Bring what you've got, and we work on what you haven't. So personal development, again, confidence, really pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, things like that. That has been a real big thing for me. Personal development's my favourite thing out of this business, regardless of income. The personal development outweighs everything. So we've had 7 weeks of summer holidays together. Like I've said, that's priceless. We all do the school run together. That's lovely. And there's not many people who get to take the children to school, let alone both of them. And that's not to say there's anything wrong with that, because we've been the family that did that. It's just, it's not seen as normality. The ability to go and do anything that we want when we want. Free 5-star holidays, a car. I mean, we would never have been able to afford a Mercedes-Benz. That's just ridiculous. We just look at that car, it always makes like us smile, because we're thinking that's a car that we probably wouldn't have been able to ever afford. We've had a 4-bedroom detached house in Trentham. We lived in a little 3-bedroomed house before that, we were just scraping by in, basically, and we've been able to afford a 4-bedroom detached house in Trentham that we've renovated as well. Family time. Lovely new friendships, friends that we're getting time with, friends and family that we knew before, and new skills, great income, And again, time. You can't put a price on time. It's just, that is the best part. So never give up on a dream just because of the time it'll take you to accomplish it. Time will pass anyway. So it's decision time for you. You'll now be in one of three places. So it might be a no, it might be a maybe, and it might be a yes. I'm happy to answer any questions that you've got. If it's a no, don't worry about it. It's not for everybody. It's not for everybody right now. Don't go past the products. Speak to the person that's introduced you. If it's me, give me a shout. I'll send you the link to my website. Have a little look or ask some questions on them. If it's a maybe, ask your questions right now or send them me privately. Or if it's a yes, fantastic, let's get going. I'll send you the link, or whoever's introduced you to this webinar will do the same thing. So if you've got any questions, just ask now.